Okay, let's take a look at installing the rails. This is a fairly simple process, but I'll run you through how I've done mine anyway. What I've done is I knocked posts into the ground and then I installed the rails on top of the post. The idea behind this is I've got about 250 mil of good soil, a foot, something like that, reasonably good soil. So I installed my rails on the top of the soil, so I knocked the post right into the ground. If you don't have good soil and you're wanting to add soil later, say for example I've got a bit less, there's no problem in installing them higher with the expectation that you would mulch this ground and bring it up to here. But what you want to aim for is that the let me just get that back here. The top of the soil is the bottom of the rail. Now I can add more soil to this, because the general idea about rail farming is that you're increasing the amount of soil, and that will hopefully continue. So I keep adding compost, and eventually it'll come up these rails, and all I'll do then is I will install another set of rails. Again, mine are made of wood, so you would expect them to rot at some point. Let me just pop that. So in the future, I would just simply install another rail on top of this rail and then work everything again. It's costing me about £300 UK for all the rails. So I don't think it's too expensive, and it's something that if you were to replace the rails or lift the rails every 2 to 3 years, it's not super expensive to do that, and everything works the same. So you lift your rails, all of your dollies and everything work exactly the same. There's no change. You're just simply lifting the rails, and you need to lift the rails at the end as well. But that allows you to build the soil and continue to build the soil over the years, so you can just keep going on up. You need to be as accurate as possible setting up your knocked in posts and your first rails. If you got something a good way out, your dolly could derail or drop off the rails, so you want to get them as accurate as possible, but I don't think it needs to be super accurate. I've got on here, I'm using a 4x1 for the bottom rail, and then I'm using a 4x2 with the general idea that I'm going to put another 4x2 on shortly. Once you've checked, whack it in. Again, I'm whacking these in right to ground level, but you nothing to stop you leaving them above if you intend on growing your soil, or if you're going to drop a lot of compost in. Just check roughly, again it's all rough, that each rail's roughly level with the next rail. I would say a couple of inches. They could go up and down quite a lot, but it's nice to get it as flat as possible. Mine isn't that flat, it looks flatter here than it is. I'm kind of doing this in a rough way just to test the tolerances. you.